Hey now. I want to start this video off with this question. How will you be remembered when you pass away? Now, this is a very interesting question because it harps on the idea of legacy. All right. Legacy has a bunch of different meanings, but for the meaning of this video and for the way how I want to structure it, we're just going to say that legacy means that how you will be remembered after you're passed away or after you've left this world. Now, legacy on the internet at least seems to fall into one of two categories. Either you're extremely critically acclaimed and loved by millions, or you're getting completely memed to death. There's like really no middle ground there. It's either people love you or they hate you to the point where you're getting mean to like hell in oblivion. A good example of someone being absolutely loved after their death is Michael Jackson. All right. There are people who absolutely adore his music and just adore his overall person and personality to the point where there was a literal point in life where Michael Jackson had to rent out an entire supermarket for a day just so he can realize what it feels like to actually be able to do grocery shopping as a regular person. That's how much he was loved in his life. He was a good person that spread love and positivity even outside of him creating music. And that is why he is so loved and revered even like many years after his death. And someone whose life is negatively revered many years after his death is, well, someone who is very much in the news nowadays, and because that I have literally no one else of a frame of reference for, Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, we're going there. And I don't think I should elaborate on why he's so negatively received now. So anyways, back to the topic at hand. Legacy is a very interesting thing to talk about in my opinion because it speaks to the overall immortality of a person's soul and how they overall lived. Like we've discussed earlier, the way how someone lived is how they will be remembered in their passing. And in this discussion, we're going to talk about two very different people. Someone by the name of Charlie Kirk and another person by the name of Michael Willis Hurd Jr. Levin Light TV is what he goes by usually on the internet, though. Let's start off with Charlie Kirk, though, first of all, because he's a very interesting case on who he is as a person. Charlie Kirk is, or was, a 33-year-old man who was a very far right-leaning politician. And he was someone who had very strong beliefs, to say the least. At this point, or before his passing, I didn't really know much about him. I just saw his clips. I thought he was just like another right-winged enthusiast, and I didn't really mesh with his views because, you know, I'm a minority. I don't think I need to tell you that I'm a minority. I mean, just look at me, dude. But the point is that his views did not stick with me because he spoke about things that really negatively hurt my people. When his passing did happen, I remember I saw videos everywhere of not only videos of his death, but also tweets absolutely mocking and destroying Charlie Kirk. And at first, I didn't really understand. Actually, no, I'm lying. At first, I just thought it was because like he was just another right-winged politician, and that, you know, people usually hate right-wing politicians because of their beliefs and what they think. And there's some truth into why they believe that, I think, but also like just because sometimes both sides, the left and the right, I think, are just blindly listening to the other's beliefs without really understanding what they're trying to say. So I didn't think much of it. And then after a while, I started seeing a bunch of memes of Charlie Kirk and his face being plastered on AI pictures everywhere. I'm pretty sure you've seen them everywhere on TikTok and on Instagram. But point is, though, is that I decided to do some more research on why he's like this and why he's being memed like this. And oh boy, I found a lot of stuff. For one, he speaks on very negative propaganda and speaks on very poor beliefs towards my people and just minorities in general. And also that like he's not that really an intelligent person. And in order for me to prove this, I'm gonna go off of what I've seen of his content, right? Charlie Kirk's content is basically just him debating college students at college campuses. I say that this makes him unintelligent because, for one, he's debating literal students and people who just barely became adults. And two, he makes it seem like through his editing and his overall video composition that like it makes him a stronger person by debating these college students, which for one, obviously don't have many debating skills or debating knowledge at this point. and two, they didn't even live life yet. They're just barely getting started. That's what I'm getting at. And you really see this in when he ever debates like an actual left-wing politician. He starts to crumble and he starts to really not understand what he's talking about, and he starts to fumble over his speeches and over like his actual themes and what he's talking about in those speeches and debates. For the record, I don't hate Charlie Kirk. I don't really care about him all that much. I just find that these talking points are very interesting because he's a person who's very different from me and a lot of people. Seeing why people have reacted to the way they have about him is very interesting because, in my opinion, that just simply proves that he just really wasn't a good person, and that most people saw that and are making jokes about him. The reason why people are memeing someone like Charlie Kirk like months after his death, like the Kirkified images, they're real, dude. They're literally everywhere on TikTok in their comment sections. He's literally remembered as a joke by the majority of people, to the point where people remember him more as a joke than the fact that he was an actual right-wing politician. Is that not insane to you guys? He's remembered more as a joke than an actual person. That just proves to me that karma is real and that it can bite you back if you don't put good out into the world. But hey, that's just my thoughts. Now moving on to Michael Willis Hurd. Michael Willis Hurd is a bald black man who makes Pay Gorn. If you don't know what Pay Gorn is, just switch the P and the G around and you'll get your answer. What I'm getting at here though is that Michael Willis Hurd Jr. wasn't someone who just made adult content, but he was someone much more than that, if that makes any sense. Michael Willis Hurd, I'm just gonna call him Michael Hurd for now, was a man of not only strong beliefs, but someone who spread love. He's someone who was very kind to people. He accepted who he was. He loved his fans like unconditionally. Like, I remember times where people would join his live to show love and affection, and he would accept it wholeheartedly, feeling honored at the idea that he had this much love and these many people caring about him and just loving him entirely.
Yo, King, how you feel about this?
Oh my God! Babe, look, no. Let me see the t-shirt.
Bro, I'm like shaking, bro.
Oh my God!
Yo, Mike.
Did you make that?
Yeah, I got it made at the mall.
I absolutely. Okay, don't tell me where you live. I don't want to know because people will act crazy. I am honored. Like, no, real shit. I'm honored.
Nah, I'm honored too.
Yeah, you would think enough of me to put it on a t-shirt, bro. Okay,
bro.
Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow you back, okay? But I need you to take a picture and DM it to me so that I can show my husband, because that's wild.
Nah, I got you, Mike. Don't worry.
I first found out about Love and Light TV around 3 years ago, counting now. Yeah, around the summer of 2023. I remember running into one of his audios on TikTok, and Jesus Christ, it was some of the funniest shit I've seen all year up to that point. His videos were so goddamn funny. Like, the audios that were being used were absolutely insane. I'm not gonna lie. Like, those videos are crazy. Now, I haven't seen the actual videos. I'm just talking about the specific audios that accompany those videos. And I'm not going to play the audios for like obvious reason. I think that this video would genuinely get taken down if I were to play any of those audios. But the point is though, is that the audios are so funny that people have genuinely made insane content. Like, I remember around 2 years ago, there was this one white kid with like thick glasses that would make these overarching videos, like completely deconstructing the audio and what it pretty much meant to them as a person. It was amazing. Unfortunately though, I think it was about November 9th of last year, 2025, he passed away, unfortunately, due to a stroke. It was a sad day for me, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said before, Love and Light TV was someone who consistently put a smile on my face whenever I ever felt down. And seeing his passing really made me, it really made me feel sad. I'm not gonna lie. It was one of the very few celebrity deaths where it genuinely impacted me as a person because of how kind of a person he was. Although Michael Willis Hurd, again, like I said, was an adult film creator, he had other content about him that wasn't just the adult content. It was about him uplifting you. It was about him telling his stories about how he grew up and how he became the person who he is. There were very interesting stories, times where he spoke, and times where he really showed you why he's this kind and loving person, and how much it is taken from him and how much life has taken from him, and he still chose kindness. He could have been like a terrible person from what I've seen. If you haven't read any of Michael Willis Hurd's like actual backstory into who he is, go look it up, because it's pretty damn sad, if I'm being honest with you. Like, the amount of stuff he's gone through is it's pretty shocking and sad to see from someone who's so kind and vibrant all the time. And now we're gonna fast forward to his death. People on TikTok, believe it or not, have given much more grace to Michael Hurd Jr.'s death than Charlie Kirk, because he was an actual good person. Like I said before, he was someone that knew what he was and he embraced it. He knew he was an adult film creator, and that's why he didn't completely rage out when people ever made jokes about that in his comment sections of his content. He knew about all that stuff. He didn't let that get to him, which made him all the much more lovable person to everyone who actually engaged his actual content. He loved his fans. He loved talking to them. He loved conversing with them. Like I said before, he's talked online with a couple of fans before, being absolutely thankful and astonished at the fact that he has such a beautiful, loyal fan base to him, which is why it was so sad to see him pass away back in November. Michael Willis Hurd's death was very sad because he was a person who not only made people smile, but was just an overall good person up until his passing in early November. So what am I getting at with all this? Why compare two completely different people at two completely different sections of life? Well, for starters, I guess we can start off with the fact that they are two completely random and different people, but also the fact that they're two of TikTok's arguably most controversial and interesting figures for two completely different reasons. Like I said, Charlie Kirk being a right-winged politician, and Michael Hurd for, well, being an adult actor. But again, what I want to get at though is that whereas Charlie Kirk lived his life in hate and just being an overall negative person, Love and Light TV, or Michael Willis Hurd Jr., lived a life of kindness and spreading love and just being an overall positive figure in his close circle of people's lives. He's genuinely made people better people, and he was an actual pastor at a church. He's literally giving back to the people that love and care for him. He was a literal pastor that went to church. He was a genuinely a saint of a person, is what I'm trying to get at. The moral of this story and the moral of what I'm trying to tell you guys is that live this life with kindness and not hate, because I promise you, one way or another, it is going to bite you in the butt. I promise you it will. Live this life with love and not of hate, because it is going to affect you in the long run, no matter how you look at it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to head out. You guys take care.
And the universe never operates on bad days. The universe never gives us bad days. Although it feels like that, and although we would classify it as that, there really is no such thing as a bad day. We either have a day that is pleasing to us and things go the way we desire, or we have a day full of lessons. And sometimes we have a mixture of the two. But I just want to encourage all of us to understand and know that everything in our life is working for our benefit. Whatever you're going through right now is only a result of what you have previously prayed for. The universe just has a way of preparing us for the things that we desire. If you were in a relationship and it did not work out, many times we want to classify that as a waste of time, or why did I even get involved? But what you did not realize was that it was preparing you for what you really do desire.